What's going on, everyone? So I want to thank Hostinger for sponsoring today's video, and I'm going to show you how you create your very own website from scratch utilizing WordPress. So let's go to the website design really quick. I'm going to show you the ins and outs, how to customize the fonts, the styling, the color, everything, so you can go ahead and make your own custom website design to fit your very own needs. So let's just go through the website really quickly. You can see here we have some sections, and you can see pretty much the design. And without further ado, let's actually hop over to Hostinger's website and get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is head over to the Hostinger website. So I'll include a link in the description below. So simply click on that link and then it'll lead you over to the Hostinger website. Now, depending on when you're watching this, the design might look a little different, but for the most part, once you click on that link in the description below, we can scroll down and we can check out the current plans that they do for website hosting. So here we're going to check out their shared hosting plans for this video. And first off, we have the single shared hosting. So this is the cheapest at the current time and the most basic hosting plan that you can choose. And as you can see, all of the features that they have available under here. Now we can head over to the middle shared hosting, and this one is the premium shared hosting. Now this one will cost slightly more. However, what it comes with is much greater than the first version or the single shared hosting plan. And ideally, most people, I'd recommend you go with this one if you're planning on creating more than one website. But if you plan on having something basic and simple, obviously you can check out which one fits your needs. And then obviously they have the business shared hosting, which has additional benefits in that plan. So first off, let's go ahead and just take a look at the differences. So right off the bat, we can see with the single shared hosting, they have one website only. So if you're only creating one website forever and you plan on never ever creating another websites, and you want to save some money, then it's probably something you can get started with. Now, the only thing is you do have to pay for a domain, and additional Google Ads credit if you plan on using paid advertisements would not be included. Now, let's look at the difference with the premium shared hosting, which is their most popular. You can see that you can have up to 100 websites. So when I first started creating websites, I would have different ideas, or I want to change my domain, create another design. And if you only have one website available, then it gets difficult. So with the middle plan, you can actually create as many of up to 100 websites, and then additionally it comes with free domain, so you're saving a $9.99 value. In addition, you can have Google Ads credit and use that for paid advertisements to your website or whatever you like. And then last but not least is the business plan. So if that were to fit your needs, then obviously you can go ahead and click on that one there. But we're going to go ahead and focus on the premium shared hosting for this one. So I'll hit a select right here, and this will lead us over to the checkout page. So currently it has it selected at 48 months. Now, if you're just getting started and you're not too sure about your websites and you're not really sure how long it's going to last, or just something you just want to try out, then you can go ahead and I would say you could go with the 12-month, which is a lot cheaper, and it only lasts you for pretty much 1 year. Now, if you have a portfolio or you plan on making a website, a blog, or just anything that you know you're going to have for quite a while, and also you plan on having the domain name for quite a few years, then it's probably best to go with the one that lasts the longest, which would be the 48 months. And we have also the 24 months as well. But when you go with the 48 months, then essentially you will be saving a lot more, and also that lasts for multiple months where you don't have to worry about renewing it and having additional costs incur after each year. So that's just going, depending on what you need, decide that from there, and then you can go ahead and continue scrolling down. So you can see the totals and different prices. And just note that depending on the time frame that you're watching this video, that these prices can be different, so just keep that in mind. And also wanted to mention that they are having a Black Friday sale, so it is later in the year, and this will begin on the 3rd of November. So just keep that in mind depending on what time you're watching this, that if you are watching this early enough to notice that they have the Black Friday sale, then you'll definitely see some discounts on the current plans as well. So keep that in mind. And then we can go ahead and continue with the sign up process. So here we just have simple, you can add an email if you'd like to, or if you want to make life easier, you can sign in with Facebook. They also have GitHub if you have one of those, and Google. So usually Google is the easiest for me, but depending on which one fits your needs, you can go ahead and use that. And then also for the payment options. So they have credit cards, PayPal, cryptocurrencies, and also Google Pay. So depending on what you decide to use, feel free to check that option. And then we can see just some of the benefits. So right now, one of the main things they highlight is 24/7 chat support. So if you ever use website hosting or you just got started and you had an issue with something, could be literally the most minuscule issue. It's really difficult to figure it out, especially if you either can't find a tutorial or it's just something you just don't know what happened. So having 24 access support to pretty much ask any question that you can about the hosting, or pretty much Hostinger, they can reply to you. That's definitely a big thing to keep in mind, and that's very helpful, especially when creating a website. And then also, obviously, optimize for WordPress, which we'll focus on later in this video. And let's go ahead and look at the overall things that are coming in with this plan. So obviously, we have the SSL certificates. Then we have the domain name, which is included with the actual plan as well. They got Cloudflare protection, and then also the setup is free as well. And you can see the discount here. Now, since you guys are watching this through my channel, I have a special coupon code that you can go ahead and use. And I'll go ahead and just type that in. Simply go ahead and enter this code, BRIANDESIGN, and just copy it just like I did. And then once you hit plus, it should show you a little discount in the current price. So you can see here, depending on the price that you see when you're watching, you could get a little discount on top of that for entering this code BRIANDESIGN. And then all you need to do, if you're using credit card or whatever payment, go ahead and process that, enter your information, and then hit submit secure payment. Now, once everything is confirmed, I'll hop over to my dashboard and we can get started with the actual creation of the website. So here I am on my dashboard. So depending on your plan, yours might look a little different, but with the plan that I picked, we do have a free domain. Now you're welcome to use another website for accessing a domain. All you need to do is set it up and connect it to Hostinger, but for this example, we're gonna go ahead and just go click on claim your free domain. So let's go ahead and click on this button right here. Now you're going to enter your domain name of your choice, and depending on if it's taken or not, it'll let you know. But here I'm gonna go ahead and just call this one, let's just do build web, and I'll put 2 B's here, website.com, and let's click on claim domain, and let's see if this one is available. Looks like we have it claimed already. So we have the free domain was just claimed, and all we need to do now is just click on start registration. So here, if you already have your information added, then you're set to go. But if you don't, go ahead and add a new profile and fill out your information for your domain, and then we can go ahead and click on finish registration. So now it's going to review your information that you've entered. For the meantime, let's go ahead and just click on continue, and now it's showcasing me this option right here with our status. The email, if you haven't already verified your email, feel free to check that as well. The date of expiration, and then also your name servers. Now here we can have this who is privacy. Let me go ahead and click on this really quick. And depending on if you have it included or not, you can purchase who is privacy. But for this example, I'm just going to save that for later. But definitely, if you want your information hidden from public records to where people can't just look up your domain and check out who is linked, then definitely I would recommend you get who is privacy. But here I'm just going to cancel that for right now. And then we can scroll down here. If you want additional things such as custom email or even just creating things through Zero, you can do that as well down here. And then this is all of the other additional things regarding your domain. But let's go ahead and let's go back to the home page now. Now let's go ahead and set up our hosting. So if you were following along and chose the same plan that I have, then you should have the premium shared hosting. Now if you have a different plan that's below this one, then you might not have the same setup process, but either way, it's fairly self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and click on setup right here. And now it's going to guide us to the steps to set up our website. So let's go ahead and click on start now. Now here for this tutorial, we're going to just use simple WordPress. We're not going to worry about e-commerce or any additional ones. But here, let's go ahead and just click on WordPress and hit select right there. Now, depending if you already have a WordPress account or not, you can utilize that. But for this example, we're going to go ahead and create one, and I'll just enter my password here. And I'll just click on continue. Now here they showcase some templates for websites already, but for now we're just going to go ahead and continue without choosing a template right now. But later on we'll choose one, and then we can go start editing the website from there. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and skip this. Now if you want to pick one, feel free. You can also show more and see other additional designs, but let's just skip this for now to save some time. Now, name your websites. Now again, if you already have a domain like we purchased earlier, then you should have this showcasing here. If you have one already, then feel free to select this option, follow the steps, and then set your domain through that. But here, let's go ahead and hit select right there. Now it's going to showcase your information, and basically depending on your website location, if it's not accurate to where you are currently at, feel free to update this by clicking on this icon right here and changing it. But in terms of USA, that's accurate for now. and then I'm gonna go ahead and click on finish setup. So now the setup is finished here. So let's go ahead and actually go to the control panel. Let's go manage site here. If you want to go directly to the WordPress dashboard, you can choose this option. But I want to go click on this manage site for just 1 second. Now here this brings us to the control panel. So this can showcase all of the different options that you need to edit your website on the back end, such as the WordPress, which we can go directly to the dashboard from here. Additional factors such as your account, emails, domains, and then also additional things down below. So in case you do need to make any customizations or edits, this would be the place that you'd want to go. But now we can easily go click on this dashboard option right here, and it'll lead us directly to WordPress dashboard through Hostinger. And then what we can do is actually scroll down here. There's one thing I want to add to the site before we start editing. And just to make sure everything is set up properly, we have the SSL certificate. So here we can go ahead and click on setup right there. It should autofill. If it doesn't autofill, feel free to type in your website's domain.com or whatever you decide to choose, and then install SSL right here. So now we have it installed, and then pretty much once everything's set up, we can hit close right here, and then we'll scroll back up, and now we can actually go and click on this button right here called edit websites, and this will bring us to the dashboard where we can actually go start editing the website through WordPress. Now here it's showcasing some sort of pop-up that if you want to go through with this, feel free. But for this example, let me just go back to the dashboard really quick. And then now we are back onto the actual WordPress dashboard. So depending on the time frame you're watching this, WordPress dashboards, they change frequently. Some plugins, applications are showcasing instead, but this one seems to be updated. Now, if you don't want to utilize this, we can just click on this X right here. And then pretty much we can go ahead and go to the main dashboard and just click on this right now. And this is the typical WordPress dashboard that you see most websites or tutorials that have WordPress in the actual video. Now, depending if they decide to update the design in the future, obviously that will change. But let's just go ahead and see what the current website looks like. And then from there, we can start designing it, editing, making it customized, and pretty much showing you step by step how to create your very own websites, whichever design you like, whatever you want to add to it from scratch. That way you can go ahead and start promoting it, putting your website out there. But first, let's go ahead and just see what the website looks like. So we can scroll to the top over here, over your website domain, just click on visit sites. And by default, you'll have a pre-built theme already that's installed. It's pretty basic. There's nothing here. So let's go ahead and actually go back to the dashboards. We can go here, hover over this and click on dashboard. And now we're back on the WordPress dashboard. So let's get started creating the website. So here on the dashboard, I like to do is actually clean up some of the things first before we actually start creating the actual theme. So first off, we can go over to this left side. Now just note pretty much everything you're going to be doing is utilizing this left dashboard over here. So for instance, we can go here to our post. Now if you utilize blogs, let's click on this for right now. If you create a blog for your website, then this is probably going to be your best friend because this is where you're going to add all of your posts for your blogs. And for this example, we're not going to worry about this for right now. So what I'm actually going to do is go ahead and delete this. So we could actually just hover over this and trash this right here. And I'll go ahead and click on trash. Now the thing is, it doesn't actually delete it until you go over to this trash, highlight over this right here, click into it, and then what we can do is select it, or we can just go and delete permanently. Now if you do have multiple posts, more than one, you can just click on this checkbox. It'll highlight everything, and then you can go ahead and choose this drop down delete permanently, and then apply it. So that way, if you have like 200 posts you want to delete, you can go ahead and delete them just like that. And now we have all the posts cleaned up, and then we can go here, and the next option is actually media. So I'll just click on this just for now. And media essentially is where you add in all of your files such as images, things of that nature. But for this example, we're not going to worry about that for right now. Pages, let's go ahead and click on pages. Now this is essentially what you would think of on your website. For instance, you have a about page, you might have a services page, you might have a portfolio page showcasing your work, reviews, clients, recipes, videos, photos, whatever you can think of. This is where all that stuff would actually hang out in. And then we have, privacy policy, legal stuff like that as well. But for this example, what we're gonna do is clean up these right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just click on this box right there so it selects both of them. Move to trash, hit apply, and then we can go to the trash option, click on this box again, and then delete permanently, and then hit apply again. So now we just cleaned up all of the pages right there. Now here we have comments again if we have posts that would affect it, but for now we don't have anything, so we don't have to worry about this. Auto Monster, right now this is actually a plugin that they have already pre-installed. We're not going to worry about this for this tutorial. WordPress forms, if you do need to utilize this to actually have somebody enter some information, contact you, things of that nature, then you can actually mess around with this option here. Then we have appearance, and this is actually where we're going to go ahead and get started with the themes. Now, there's a bunch of themes on WordPress that you can utilize, and just depending on your website, then obviously you can pretty much pick whatever theme fits your needs. But what I like to do is choose a theme that a lot of other resources have content around, because it just makes your life easier. So if you do have any issues when it comes to designing or editing your website, then you can find a lot more resources, because there are themes on here that have really cool designs, but there's not really any videos or blog posts or any tutorials on how to make it look good. So you're pretty much struggling trying to create a website. So right now what I'm actually gonna do is go over here and click on add new theme. All right, so we'll click on this, and then now we can scroll down. We can see here some popular themes that obviously they have here. I've used Ocean WP, Astra, and they actually have Elementor over here as well. But what I like to do is actually go up here to this one called Astra, because they actually have a lot of additional theme designs that you can choose from, and it's really, really cool. So we can actually go over here, and what you can do is you can actually preview this if you want to see what it looks like beforehand, but we can actually go ahead and straight up install this. So I'll click on install, and then once it finishes up, we can just activate that and then get started. So now it finished installing, so we actually go here, I'll scroll up a little bit so you can see better, and just click on activate. So there we go. Now we just activated this, and now what we can do is go ahead and let's scroll down into here, and let's just click on customize. Now this is what it currently looks like, right? Doesn't look too crazy, doesn't look too fancy, and there's pretty much nothing we can do here, right? So let's actually go back now, and then let's go ahead and do the actual get started, because that's way you see how they have dozens of start templates. Let's just go ahead and click on get started here. And now it's going to ask you to select the page builder. Now, if you are familiar with some additional page builders on here, feel free to choose that option. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use Elementor, because that's the one that I find I like the most. It has the most resources in terms of other videos and tutorials online you can check with. In addition, it's just one of the first ones that I've started using, and I generally like it, and it does a job for what I need to do. So I'll go ahead and click on Elementor. And now here we are. Now these are a lot of pre-built themes. Now for most people, you could probably find a theme that fits something similar to what you're going to create, and then you can go ahead and go from Elementor and just change up the layout, the designs. And that's what we're going to be doing in this website, because creating a website from scratch can take multiple hours, and unless you're an experienced web designer, it's very hard to visualize where to put things, and it could take you forever, and if you don't like the design, then you waste a lot of time. So let's just go ahead and let's just scroll through some of these designs, check it out, and just note obviously if it has this premium little sticker on top of it, then that costs extra. So depending on which plan you have, then you can go ahead and decide if you want to use the premium option. But for most of us watching this, we're going to be using the free option for now. So one thing too to make your search easier is if you are using the free plan, you can go ahead and click on this top search bar, the all option with the down arrow, click on free, and this will show you only free themes. That way you can just go ahead and scroll through everything and then pick from there. Now there's one that I actually like the design of that we're going to be utilizing for this tutorial. So let's go ahead and scroll down here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose this one way down here at the bottom really quick. This one called Text Startup. So again, if you want to search this up, you can go here and type it in as well. And if you do not like the theme, you can pick pretty much any theme and follow along with it, because I'm going to show you how to utilize Elementor. And that's basically the most important part, is knowing how to use Elementor to edit and customize your websites. And then from there, you can basically choose any one of these themes and do pretty much whatever you like to the website and make it customized to you. So I'm going to click on this one. And now let's go ahead and just click on Import Complete Site. Now, if you just want the home page, then you can do that too. Now, in terms of this, I guess this is just for pretty much their sake, but I'll just put here, and I'll just put myself. And obviously, if you want to update that, feel free to. And then basically, if you do want to have additional information regarding this theme, you can, but I'm going to go and skip this. And then right now, it's actually installing the plugin Elementor, which is basically going to help us create, design, edit, and do everything to our website. So once that finishes up, I will continue, and showcase you how to actually start editing and designing your website. And now we can go ahead and click on the view site, and here we have the website right here. Now this is pretty much the actual template that they utilized already, so if you like this design, you can basically just replace the images, everything in terms of the text, and then change the colors to fit your brand, and then you're pretty much set to go. Now if you don't like this actual theme, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to utilize Elementor to basically change this up to basically any website theme you want. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. As long as you understand Elementor, you can pretty much do whatever you like to customize your design. So here, this is what it currently looks like. And so far this design is fairly clean, looks like a typical website that you see from like a startup. And basically, let's go ahead and scroll back up. Now we can go ahead and start designing this. So first off, I always like to go up here to this edit with Elementor, and let's just go ahead and just click into this. So now what this is actually doing is it's utilizing the actual dashboard on the left to allow us to edit everything that you see on the right screen of the website. In addition, you can click into it directly and then change that as well. So for example, let's just start off with the easiest, and let's show you how to actually edit some text. So all you need to do is hover over the text that you'd like to edit, click on it, double click it if you like to, or if you want to go over here to the left side, it's probably easier depending on your computer. And we can change this to literally whatever we want to. So you can put whatever we want here. And literally, you can add whatever text you like. So here, let's just make it something more formal that makes sense. So we can just say, let's say brand new fitness app, and I'll just put the period at the end. And now if you want to, we can actually go here to the styling. Now styling, if you're not familiar with this, is pretty much the design, the coloring, the font size, everything that needs to do in regards to the design of the particular elements that you're editing. So if you don't like this text color, you can simply click on this box right here, change it to another color. I personally like the white, so I'll keep it like this. And then I'll click back here. Now in terms of typography, this is actually the styling of the font. So by default it's set here, but if you don't like this, you can change this to pretty much everything. So if you want to change this to like this for Donna, then as you can see, it changes back there. But we'll actually keep this to default just to make life easier. But again, feel free to go through all those fonts and then play around with those to see which ones fit your needs. Sizing, this is pretty much the size of the font. So if you like the sizing, you can go here and drag and drop this here. Or if you actually like this, we can just do it like this, or you can manually actually type this in yourself, whichever is easier. And I actually like, let me do 80. I think 80 is a good size right there. Weight is pretty much, you can see here if I click on weight, let's just do like that. 900, you can see not much changes for this particular font because it is defaults, but it will, depending on a different font, the thickness of your letters might change slightly. And then obviously we have these additional ones right here, but I don't really use these too much. Line heights is pretty self-explanatory, but just the height between the actual the words, essentially the lines of it only works though if you have more than one line in your text. And then letter spacing, obviously, if you want to put more spacing between the letters. So that's a pretty quick rundown through pretty much the actual typography styling. And this one in particular is pretty simple. You want to add some text shadow too, then obviously you can do that here. And that basically adds like a background and pretty much showcases there. But I personally don't want any of that, so I'm going to drag this over to the left to make it transparent, pretty much invisible. And then if you want additional things such as advanced margin and padding, then that's something you can do. Now just know padding is basically, think of it as something that's pushing from the inside of the box, and then margin is basically on the outside. So like it's hard to explain right now, but once we have a example where it actually makes sense, then we can utilize that. In addition, these are additional things that we can use here, same as motion effects. You want entrance, you can do fade in, and then basically see it fades in. You can add the animation speed, normal, slow, or fast, and then you can add the delay if you want it to last or appear a little later. You can do that too. And these are additional stuff that we can mess with later. But that's pretty quick rundown through the texting. So now if you want to go here, change this up, you can go through that perfectly. Now for this one, you can see here, let's go ahead and mess around with this button, because I know I'm sure if you have a website, you're probably gonna have some buttons. And by default, we can see we have this button right here. Now it's gonna show the type. Now if you have, obviously, this part is really, I never used this, but that just changed the color of the button. Text, I mean, you can go here, you can say like Let's do download now. And now we can see the text has changed. Link. So this is important. Now, depending on how many pages you have on your website, then that's probably best to include a link to that. Or let's just say, for example, you want to link this to something external off your website, like a app store, a YouTube video, a project, whatever it is, you would type in that. So you would say, for instance, let's just say link this to YouTube. We would just do https://www.youtube.com. And then that would link us to YouTube. Now, obviously, depending if your website has this or not, you can just put in the normal www.your-domain if that's regarding a actual link. Now, if you're linking to something in particular, obviously, you'll have to copy that link and then go ahead and bring that to the actual Elementor and copy and paste that in. And then here, click the little pop-up. We're just putting not applicable here. Now, if you want to change this to where this opens up in the actual opposite browser, so essentially in a new window, you can click that there. And I'll do that actually right there. That way that whenever someone clicks it, especially if it's an external link, I want the website to remain the same. But if it's a page within your actual website, like for instance your about page, then obviously you probably don't want that to open a new tab, right? Now here in alignment, this is basically you want it to be centered to the left, to the right. But for this example, it's kind of hard to notice it because it's already on the left side of the screen. But for instance, like if I go to this text right here and I put centered here, you can see that obviously changes it, right? But this design is in all the way to the left already, so we're good right there. And then here's the icon. Now, if you want an icon, you can go here and add one too. And it's basically like if I click a bell, for instance, hit insert. Now we have this icon, and you can change it before and after, whichever fits your needs. But for this example, we don't need that. And then obviously the spacing from the text. But since we don't use icon for this example, we don't need that. Styling here is the fun part, and pretty much most of you are going to be spending most of your time is this styling tab. So for here, if you don't like this color, then we can change that to red, right? Man, let's put like a little orange. Let's do an orange right here, and let's just change the text color to white. Let's just do white here, okay? And now pretty much we have a completely different button. Now, based off of depending on people's like color and their eyesight, certain colors aren't very good because the more I'd say the brighter they are with the light white text, it's hard to read. So obviously you can look at the color blindness scale, and there's actual apps that you can actually download to see if they can see it. But for this example, let's just keep it like this, and then pretty much now we have this button here. Now the problem is that when I hover over it, it's pretty much like a darker orange, but I don't want that. So I wanted it to be something completely different. So we can actually go here and go over to the hover option. So now we can change this to something, and I'll make sure that you can clearly see. So let's do like a, let's do white, and let's make the text black. That way you can clearly see. So when I hover over it now, you can see that changed to the color I just changed right there. So that's basically normal, is where it's currently at, and hover whenever you drag the mouse over it, that's what it currently looks like. So that's basically a simple explanation of hover and then how that works. Now border radius is pretty much, I'll just show you. If I put like, let's just put like 99. The rounding, it makes it rounder the higher the number is. And then obviously without a border radius, then obviously it's going to be 0. It'll be pretty much a rectangle. So for most, I like to put like 4 pixels, maybe sometimes 8, just depends. Just to have like a little slight rounding on it. And then padding, if you need padding, you can add that, and also box shadow. But for this design, that's not necessary. And then pretty much advanced, obviously we can see we have the padding right at 40. And that's basically right there. If this were to go to 0, you can see how that box just basically shrunk to 0. So for this design, they're using 40 because that way the learn more has an option there. And then pretty much, I don't really like this learn more option. It kind of doesn't make sense because it's right by the button. So what we actually do is we can do this. We can go here and right click on it and then just delete it. So if you don't like a design or whatever the theme has, you just don't like the way they did something, you can straight up delete it. So like for instance right here, there's these icons. For most of us, unless you have your social medias linked, you might need to use that. But for example, let's delete this stuff right here. These are here since unless you're well renowned or you have credentials or some sort of features on your websites, then it probably doesn't make sense to have this option. So I showed you the simple way to delete something from an actual section on the actual website, but what happens if you want to delete this entire row, right? Because you can see here when I hover over it, it's actually a rectangle that has containing all of these elements or essentially items inside of here. So easiest way, if you can see this X, is just simply click X off here. And there you go, it's gone, it's deleted just like that. Now, what we want to do is actually, and this is social media, we don't really need to focus on this right now, but maybe later I'll show you how to link it. But basically, it just shows you links, and then you can click on it. You can add your website, your Facebook, etc. into it. But for now, let's actually go ahead and let's do this. Let's click on update down here, and this saves your work. So do keep in mind, I would try to update this every time you make a change, because sometimes you never know what's going to happen. The computer could crash, internet goes out, power goes out, something bad happens, the next thing you know it, your entire design that you're working on disappears. That happened to me a couple times. So definitely, if you're just starting, make sure you update it. And now the perfect thing is, now we can actually go here to preview changes, this little eyeball, and click on preview changes, and now you can see the actual updates that we made to this website. So we can see here we added our text, and it says download now. So when I click on this should link us to YouTube, which you can actually see the URL at the bottom below. I'll click on YouTube, and now you can see that we have YouTube up over here. So, and notice that it did open up in a new browser, like I put essentially in a new window. So again, that's a super simple, I'd say, method for pretty much adding text, highlights, buttons, and adding links. So now let's go ahead and continue utilizing more of Elementor's features. That way you can go ahead and create your own custom website and make it fit your needs. So now let's go back to Elementor and start editing the website again. So if you have already clicked in this edit this Elementor option right here, and that'll lead you back to it. Or if you already have the Elementor dashboard open, you can just click back onto that too. So I'm actually going to click on these three dots at the top right corner, and that will lead us over to here. Now, what I want to show you is pretty much this is the main hub where you have all of the options to add anything that you like. So for example, if you remember, you click on these three dots to get back to over here, or these 9 dots. And if you want to add another text, for example, we can go here and drag this on top. If you're doing this from scratch, then obviously you'd have a blank slate. But here now we have a new text. So if you want to add, for instance, let's just say global fitness, and we can just put whatever you want here. And then I can go to styling here. I can go to text color, make this white, and then go back here. Typography, we can change the sizing to something. Let's do something a little smaller. And then now basically have a new design, and we click on this arrow, and this will show us the full screen on our desktop, or wherever you're editing this, what it looks like there. So if you wanted to add additional stuff like that, that's how you do it there. And then we can go back to the 9 dots again. You want to add images, videos, buttons. You want to add another button, for example, we can drag it down here. Now we have another button. I'm actually going to delete this just because we don't need that. And then all these additional options here. Then obviously if you have the premium, then you can have the access to those. But for now, we're pretty much set here. Now, for this example, we have this actual photo right here. So if you don't like this photo, and then you can see they have additional background here. But let's say click on this photo, for example, and you don't like this photo. You can go here, click on it, go here, and then choose an image. So for example, if I click choose image, this is going to open up the actual media where we can upload files from our computer or whatever you're using to edit. They also have media library, which you can see a lot of the saved images already with this theme. So this is utilizing this theme. Now, obviously, if you're creating your own website, it doesn't make sense to use these pictures because these aren't part of your actual website. So just be sure to update that. And then we can go to the free images. So typically, there are websites out there like Pixabay, Pexels, Unsplash, etc. We can get royalty-free images, but for here, you can see that these have, and this is actually powered by Pixabay. And if you want to go here and just type in like app, and I'll just click on type in app, see if it pops up. We can see here we have all these application images and pictures right here. And basically, if you do have any stock photo that fits your design, then obviously you can go ahead and update that. And for this example, we're just going to scroll through it, and my current layout looks a little strange. Not sure why it's like that, but for the most part, we can just continue scrolling, and let's just see if we can find a picture that I like here. And in general, some of these photos might not be the best, but if you do have a access to premium stock photos, then you could use that as well. But for the most part, let's just go ahead and let's just click on this image right here. Actually, I'll make sure I'm clicking on the right one. Looks like it update. Yeah, we have this one right here. So we can click on this iPhone right here, and we can actually go and click on insert media. So now we can see here on this image that it actually change the image to what we just chose right there. Now, depending on the size, obviously dimensions, it will be a little different, and then obviously you can change it from here. But basically, that's how easy it was to pretty much change the design from one image to this one currently right here. Now, for customization's sake, we're gonna leave this for now, and obviously at the end, if I want to change updates, I found a better image, then obviously I can go ahead and change that for now. But for now, let's just make our life easy and just keep that right there. And then we have this design back now. If I click on this again, and we can just click on here, let me just click on this back right here. So this selects the entire box. Now, if you want to actually highlight, and let's see, let me go ahead and go to advanced, and let me just make sure we don't have any additional things here. Actually, let's go to styling, and this is the image we currently have right here. So if you don't like this little layout with the person's foot sticking out, you can straight up delete this, and we can click on choose image right here, or we can choose a different image. But for this design, I actually like this design here. It's pretty cool, so we'll just keep that like that. And then for the most parts, if you do have a custom design, a custom image, obviously you can delete this, add a different background. But for the sake of it, let's just keep it like this. And then let's just continue scrolling, and let's just see what else we got down here. So now we actually have is another section. Now again, with Elementor, it's pretty self-explanatory, where you just click into the text, you update the text with the styling, and change it up here. But what we actually want to do is show you how you can create something like these sections right here, but do it from scratch. Because obviously, utilizing the pre-built template, if you actually have an application that fits this design, it would make sense. But for most of you people out there, you're probably creating something custom, and you want to learn how to make your own sections too. So let me show you how to do that. So first off, you can click here and click on this actual plus sign. What this does, it actually lets you add a section. Now, depending on which option you like to choose, I like to click on this red or like maroon color plus sign. And for this example, let's just click on this box right here. Now, what this does is creates a entire element box right here where we can click in this plus sign and basically drag whatever you want. So if I go here, I can add like a heading, and I can do whatever I want here. I can put the text and just say like, let's just for example purposes say like new section. And then if I want to add something else, I can go here, add a, let's do like a video under here. Now we have this video section, and then if I want to add another thing like a button, drag it under there, and then I can center this button here. And basically, I just add this little simple section right here, just like that. Now, for most of us, this is pretty self-explanatory. You can go here and customize this, but the one thing is you don't like this design is because of how close it is to the top. So we can go here to the advanced. And for right now, let's do padding, and we can uncheck this. And for the top, let's do like, let's do 100 here, and then bottom, let's do 100 here. So now if I click on this arrow, now you can see we do have some spacing from the other sections. Now obviously, if you want to add padding and margins to this one right here, for example, we can click on the text, go here, and let's just do like padding bottom, let's do 100 again. And then you can see here, that's how you would add spacing within your section. So that's just showing you a quick example. And then obviously if you want to do padding on top of the button, you can add padding on the top of this. And then basically it pushes it up there. And now you can see that super simple section that we just created from scratch. So obviously your design is going to be very different from this. So that's just showing you the basics on how to utilize a section from scratch. Now let me show you something even crazier that's much easier. So let's just delete this, the whole section right here. Click on this plus sign again. This time, click on this folder option. So now what this is going to do is bring up pre-built designs that Elementor already has. And you can see here they have already themes, pages you can use, and Pro, obviously that is a premium feature. So we don't have Pro for this tutorial, so we're just going to go with the free options. I like to go here to blocks, because what blocks does is basically creates something like we just showed you earlier, except it's already made, and I can customize that myself without having to worry about making things, thinking about design, aligning things, and spacing, all that stuff. So like this one right here, we can literally go here, click on this, and it's very similar to what I just showed you with the video, and then it has like about the company, etc. So we can click insert here, and obviously if you need to connect this to a template library, so let me actually get started with this, sign up really quick, and then we can insert that afterwards. So now we can just connect this. And now you can see we have this entire section created, and this doesn't look too pretty because this video is unavailable. But what let's actually do is, let me just show you right now. So pretend this video was actually available, or we could choose another one obviously. Basically, this entire thing was built with us. We don't have to add any of these margins or paddings to the top. Alignment's perfect, and it's actually mobile responsive too. Now, that's one thing I want to show you really quick before we continue is everyone has different size screens, phones, so we can go here to the responsive mode in the bottom left corner, and we can actually change this one. So for instance, you want to change this to tablets. This is what it looks like on tablets. On mobile, this is what it looks like on mobile, and you can see that there's some issues with the design for now, but what I should do is let me choose a different section because since this video is unavailable, let me click on the plus sign again, click on this folder, go to blocks, and let's just see, for example, let's do something that is about the company, but I want to pick something that looks pretty good, right? So I like this one over here. So I click on it, it shows you the preview, hit inserts, and basically now we have this option here. So I close it out, we can see what it looks like. Now if your screen is larger than mine, then obviously your design, your editor will look a little different, but here we have about the company, etc. We can change the color. So let's go on the button. Let's try to match what we have earlier above. So let's just change this back to like an orange, and then make it a little darker. Actually, let's see, like this, and then pretty much obviously the font's a little different too, but we can change that later. But what I want to do is show you if you want to add like this image here. Go here, choose image, go to free images. Let's just type in, let's do fitness. Let's follow along with this theme here. And let's just find a fitness image that we can utilize. So this one actually looks pretty cool here. Looks like somebody's working out. Make sure I clicked on the right one. Let me go back, make sure. Not sure where it went. So actually, let me see, I'll find another one because I'm not sure what happened to that image. But let's just click, this one looks pretty cool. So here, click on insert, and basically once that changes, looks like it didn't work. Let me try again. Insert media again. Not sure what's going on with maybe this top button works. Okay, there we go. So maybe I just should click on a different button. All right, yeah. So that one works there, and I can see we have a new image inserted over here. So basically, you see like this. Read more. Now, one thing too is this button obviously has its default styling. So we go to hover. We can change that to white, text color to black, and obviously the border radius too. Let's go to styling. Let's do 4, and now you can see that it looks like this. Now, what I would usually do is copy the color codes, but for this example, it's fairly simple. Just put it back to orange. But we can see it looks like this. And the thing is, the problem is the button is white and the background is white. So typically, design-wise, is not the best. So let's go here and let's replace that. Let's change the text color to white. Background to black, and let's close it and let's see how it looks now. So there we go. Now we have this just like that. And if you don't like these paragraphs, for instance, we can click in here. We can delete some of these sentences here, and there we go. So we just basically created a section from scratch, and Elementor has thousands of options you can use from. So if you want to click here and then add another one and basically go through here, you can see all of these different options. So again, have fun with this, pick something that fits your design, your needs, and then you're set to go, and you just build upon each section as time goes. So you can see here we have the additional designs, and these are pretty self-explanatory. You just customize these if they fit your needs. But for the most parts, this is showing you pretty much the main aspects of Elementor and how you can customize text and things of that nature. And what we actually want to do, and let me go back here, let me click here, and basically I'll choose another image, and actually like obviously their fonts with their image, but let's just click back and let's just use this photo because it just fits with this design. Let me just insert this media. Let me see how this looks here. So this one looks pretty cool, and let's see, go down, scrolling, and this image looks pretty cool here. So basically, now that you have all this knowledge, you can go in and actually start designing, customizing the themes, adding new sections. Now let me just show you some more additional details, such as adding links to different pages, making sure it fits for responsiveness, and then pretty much adding additional stuff on the back end that will make sure your website looks much better. So let's go ahead and continue with designing the website. So now let me show you how to make sure it fits for responsiveness. So that is referring to the tablets, mobile phone devices. And as you can see, for the most part, this theme is pretty responsive, especially if you use Elementor blocks. But the thing is, when we add this custom text ourselves, we can see that it actually doesn't look the best. Let's actually open this tab here. Now the cool thing is usually if you're utilizing a pre-built theme, you can actually customize the text on the specific responsive design you're trying to do. For example, iPhone or mobile, and it will customize it only for that screen size, right? So we can go in this text right here, go to styling and typography, and let me change the text a little smaller. Line height does not need to be this high, and actually we can actually go here and let me do this. We can go in the actual text, and like for instance, if you want to put this in the center, brand new fitness app, just like that, we can do it like that. And if you want to make it a little smaller, we could do that as well, where it's size like this, and then basically we can see it's like that. Now in terms of line height, we can make it like this. Alignment, let's make it to the left. Usually on mobile looks best with the left alignment right there. And then pretty much now if we go to our tablet and our actual desktop, you can see it looks like this. And then we can go on to tablet. Now if I don't like the tablet, let me go to this typography here, shrink that a little bit, change the line height a little bit, and actually keep it like this. Let's do actual pixels, and then just make it my life easier. And then we can just scroll, and let's actually do brand new right there. Actually, let's make it a little smaller, that way it fits more on like that. And then basically now we can see on the desktop, then we got the tablets, and then the mobile. Now obviously if you're making your website, you can customize themes, and the cool thing is actually, for instance, let's just say you don't like this paragraph right here, we can actually go to advanced, and then basically on responsive we can say hide on mobile. So now when we go back, that paragraph doesn't show on mobile, but if we go to tablets or desktop, this paragraph shows there. So usually the trick when developers or just people making websites do is like images, for example, sometimes they look the best on a mobile, so we just simply take it out, right? Or a video, it might take up too much loading speed and just makes your website super slow on phones. That's another option for that. It makes it faster. Now here they already have a pre-built mobile menu, so you're good to go right there. And then obviously if you want to update like the logo, things of that nature, we'll scroll back up, you can upload that stuff too. But basically this is just showing you how to make it responsive. And let's head back to the dashboard, because I want to show you some cool stuff. So we can click here and we can go back to exit to dashboard. And now it's going to bring you over here, but we don't need that. We can just go back to the actual WordPress. Let's go back here, continue, and then back here, and then now we're back on the main page. Now here's what's interesting, right? So first of all, let me actually show you something, because if we're here on the website, let's go to actually just preview the website here. Let's go visit site. Now you can see it does not look perfect, does not look good. So what happened? Let's actually go back and let's do Lightspeed cache. Let's click on this, and now what we do is actually go ahead and clear this cache really quick. So let me go here and clear this really quick. So let's go to cache down here, and basically let's see here, enable cache, everything is on here, everything's on there, and you can update the actual information on the cache here. But what we want to do is go up to the actual up here and go to the setting, this one right here, this one with the Lightspeed matches, and just hit purge all. And now when I click on this and I refresh this, then basically this should, let me actually go back and visit site here. Let's go see, and it looks like it's not working right now. So actually let me do this. I'm not sure why it's not going, so let me do it one more time. Let's just go here and purge all, and then let's refresh this. Might take a second, but there we go. Okay, that's the only problem, was just lagging really quick. But now our website's back to normal, in case you're looking at it like crazy, what happened. So now we fixed that issue. Now in terms of editing the footer and additional sections, you do need to have, it looks like, a premium subscription if you want to utilize their theme builder, which you can click up here. And this allows you to add custom footers and then basically add custom links and things of that nature. So it seems like they have updated it since recently, so it's not exactly the exact same as before. But another thing too is, if you, I'll refresh the page really quick, looks like it's loading. And if you go here to edit with Elementor just in general, and if you wanted to add a footer through their actual custom blocks, we can click here and go to pages or blocks and search footer. It looks like they have updated it, and basically everything looks like it's pro currently now. So obviously things change in the future, but for now it seems like that is a pro subscription only thing. So if you want to have a way around this, you could basically create your own footer. And for example, you go like this, add in some text, for example, and then exactly how it does it here. And then if you want to add like another, for example, another text below this, and you can say here like, let's just do, I'm going to show you like a quick, easy way to do this. Just in case you don't want to upgrade a premium, you can put like support there. And then here you can say like, let's just say like about us. And obviously you'd have to style this to fit your design, but like your example would be like this, and then I could right click this and just duplicate it, and then you can say like contact us, and then basically you can, you know, edit this and make it look better. But pretty much what you would do is you just click on this text and then go to content and add a link here to whichever link you want. So it essentially replicates this design here without having to have a premium subscription for Elementor. And then you can, you know, obviously copy this stuff too, add your logo, things of that nature. So that, do keep that in mind. But that's just a quick run around, and then obviously you can look at other designs and try to replicate this. And typically with footers, they have like the typography for the weight, like super thin. So we can just change it to like air to just show you, and you can see how it looks like much different like that. And I can just duplicate that here, make it easier. And then about us, you can say do like contact us here. Actually, I don't know what happened. Hold on. Let me go back here. Okay, there we go. Contact us, and I just delete this right here. So let's just delete. And basically that's like a quick run around it. And then basically you can change the color and stuff like that. And then you would just recreate this bottom thing down here. And that's basically how you'd recreate a footer from scratch without having the premium. So I'll just exit out this for now. And for the most parts, this is just showing you how to use Elementor, adding custom designs, things of that nature. Now, one thing I want to end it off with is actually showing you how to update this top stuff right here. So essentially your pages. So I'll go over, let's go click back here. Let's make sure, let's just update everything, make sure we didn't mess anything up. Go back to the dashboard. So let's go dashboard over here. And in general, if you go to pages, we can see all the different pages, because obviously the pages have to link to something. But for now, let's go ahead and let me just delete something. For instance, let's just delete the plans. Let's go trash. And then basically now, let's go here to visit sites. Notice how plans has disappeared. But now, if we go back to dashboard, let's add a new page. Let's just add new. And let's just call this literally new. Publish this, hit publish. And right now, if we go to the websites, we can't really see nothing. So we actually go back to the dashboard. So now we actually go down here to appearance, go to menus, and basically let's do primary menu right here. We can actually go to the new and add this one there, and let's just put this like at the top. And basically let's just save the menu. Let's see how this looks. And basically you can see all of the new ones we added plus the new we have here are currently showing in the menu. So if you don't like this, we can go back to menus. You don't like these other ones, you can delete them. So we can just remove them here. Let's remove this one here. And let's remove this one here. And now let's just hit save menu. Actually, let's add the features, add that there as well, and then save menu. So then make sure you have primary menu checked. So basically when you go back to visit site, actually I didn't save this. Let me save really quick. You visit the site. You can see we have the new, which leads to a blank page. So obviously you'd have to edit this with Elementor, fill out the page to customize that. But basically you can see here we have the about us too, and then features, etc., which goes to features and back here. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and go back and pretty much just reset this to what we had originally, just to make things look nice. So I'll just remove this page again, and then pretty much have it just like that. And we'll hit save, because we have a logo already, so it's not really necessary to have a home if you don't want it, because you can just click on this logo. But you can click on features, go like this, back to there. And that's basically how to utilize Elementor customize the text, the fonts, the themes, the colors, add new sections, add new pages, and essentially create your own custom website design. So obviously there's much different themes you can choose from and edit around yourself, so definitely have fun with that. And again, if you do get lost and for some reason you forget how to get back to WordPress, basically all you need to do is go back to hosting your dashboard. Just go to your edit websites and then click here, this edit website option. Brings you right back to WordPress, and then you're pretty much set to go editing your website again, customizing it however you want. So again, this is the final ending project that we customized and pretty much mess around with the templates and designs. So definitely feel free to have fun with this, customize your own website. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to comment down below. Again, be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already signed up, be sure to click the link below, sign up with Hostinger, get your website started. And again, if you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.